the full moon is in Cancer. And I am feeling this vibe. It is an abundant season. We have the wolf moon, the first full moon of the year, and it is in Cancer. And we have just ended so many cycles. It is a blessing to be alive. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, I'm holding these cards not because I'm a crazy person, but because they have purpose. We are confirming the energy. We are going to talk about the full moon today. I know, the full moon's tomorrow, and we're talking about the full moon. What a twist, I know. Was so unexpected. But yes, the full moon has so many lessons to really just kind of confirm the end of these cycles. So there was like, it's not necessarily a lesson, but it's like, when you put the cherry on top of everything and then like the sundae is finally complete and you can consume it, probably have already started eating and chowing down by now, but my point is the cherry on top is to really just kind of confirm everything because you trusted. Okay, for the most part, we didn't. There were some times when we didn't completely trust our intuition and we doubted ourselves, but it's okay. We're human. We're natural. It's okay to make mistakes. Humans make mistakes, but us goddesses and gods, we don't make that many. So, but sometimes we do. And when it does happen, it's not the end of the world. And sometimes it's inevitable, and sometimes it's really just to confirm some type of energy about a specific person because it's not like you're not really going to learn that lesson unless they do something. And so it's just a quicker way to go through that process. So you don't have to keep reliving experiences, especially situationships, karmic relationships. I know a lot of us went through those lessons. Maybe I should start talking about these cards first. I don't know. Okay. So justice is right here. You're getting all the justice from all those karmic lessons. I guess I am like kind of going inconsistency with these cards really too because we ended the karmic cycles and so there's justice here and it's balancing this peace is being restored. I guess it's not really peace. It's really just the natural order of things. Like it was going to you were going to get justice anyway no matter what. I mean really I couldn't really imagine you going a different route like morally and ethically, like it just wouldn't make sense. So it just happens that way where we see justice at the end of the tunnel because we were supposed to learn these karmic lessons again, not because we're victims, not because life happens to us. It just happens around us, and some people we cannot control situations. You should watch my last video if you haven't already. It's got a good lesson there about kind of speeding up the process of setting stronger intentions and just letting things go, but also setting strong boundaries. And that was like the recent lesson because again we went through all those karmic situationships, dealing with other people, toxic places, people, things, and the sun is really here for clarity. Goodness, like I don't know why these kids are naked again. I'm sorry, but they're innocent is really why they are. It was just being silly. They have this innocence about them, and so they can basically play around and be free in nature and just kind of enjoy the vibe. And basically, the sun is providing them with everything they need. And to see how the sun is a conscious being, that is source, that is energy, that is the world, that is the universe telling you that it's got you, babe. It is the warmth on your skin, but it's also here to just basically make all of these things happen. It brings life to like basically everything. I don't know if you've ever heard the sun worshiping. I mean, I don't necessarily recommend it, but it gives you a nice sense of gratitude, and the sun should, be thanked every once in a while. I'm just saying, sun gazing, moon gazing, it's good for the meditation homes. It sounds unorthodox, and it probably is, but it's great. And again, the Ace of Swords. So basically, like your battles are won. You see, it's almost like this is victorious. There's this sword through this crown, all this gold light, this white light. You really don't have to worry about like old situations as long as you've broken ties with people, places, and things. Like you're not gonna have to worry about those types of situations coming back. Like not even just like where your ex keeps coming back like every freaking Mercury retrograde. Like, no, it's not, that's not gonna happen. And at the same time, yeah. And at the same time, we're not gonna have to relive experiences in different people, because we relive experiences with different people. We attract the same things if we repeat cycles. And so again, we got this sense of strength here and stability. So did I say stability or what? This sense of stability here through all of these lessons that we've learned, and basically just, if you don't know, the Queen of Cups is all about stability. She has all of these golden fish, all of this golden like Cancer. Oh, I don't know if you know this, but the sign for Cancer is a crab. That's funny. That's really funny. You're funny, Moon. The moon plays jokes sometimes. So so yeah, again, so just clearing out all of the clutter. Okay, there's a really good example. I had the wildest dream the other night, and it's so hard to explain because I don't even remember most of it. It was mostly like, if you were aware that you were a computer and that somebody was clearing out and not necessarily deleting a bunch of files, but like organizing them and shoving them and condensing them into other places so you don't have to like, you don't feel so cluttered, and then you're like, you don't have like a million page browsers open, and so your like processing is like overrun, like over exaggerate, or like what is it, over encumbered? No, that's not the right word. That's like when things are heavy. Like it's just, it's startled because of all the things that you're trying to process all at once, and so basically your computer freezes. So like it's trying to 544. It's trying to prevent that from happening again because it has happened a few times, and it's not the end of the world, but those times were really, really chaotic. Let's be real. Because I know my times were really chaotic. When I was feeling really cluttered, when I was feeling like really like flustered, especially like when I had all my seizures, my grand mal seizures, like that stuff was overwhelming. Maybe that's the word I was looking for. Wow. Yeah, so it was really overwhelming, and sometimes these things can be really, really, really difficult to go through. And, it's okay. It's valid. That truth is valid, and peace is being restored, so again that we don't have to re-experience things, places, toxic situations. And so understand that the whole clearing out process of like getting rid of old things, the tower moment, you know what? I have not seen the tower card in a while. Thank God. Not in a bad way, cause again, the tower card has good purpose too. You guys are gonna be so happy. Wait. The High Priestess, babe. Yes. Yes, this is it. You got no worries. Everything happens for a reason. We go through hardships, especially at a younger age. Like when we go through hardships and like repeated hardships, you ever like notice this thing? I guess it's not true for like absolutely everybody, but there's this thing about like younger people who like, well, I mean, people who, yeah, younger people who went through things, like a lot of things when they were younger, like, yeah, it hardened their souls in a lot of ways, but it still made them softer and gentler people, and much more unconditional with their love and just understanding, and their communication skills are just way better than a lot of people that are older than them. Like, age, first of all, doesn't matter, because like if you have it in your head, if you have things not necessarily figured out, but figured out in your head, and you can no, don't do it. There's this word, I know it, and I'm gonna stumble on it, so I'm not gonna even try. Because I know that one's a tough one. But when you try to put everything in okay, compartments, carment, carm, Okay, I'm trying. Now I'm trying. I said I wasn't, and I still tried. Okay, stop. So when you try to like organize the thoughts in your head, I'm gonna make myself laugh here. Okay, sorry guys. Cut, edit. No, I'm sorry. But when you try to organize things in your brain and your head, your brain, and it doesn't really work out, you start to get like overstimulated. You kind of stumble, you just hit pause and you get overworked, or like your brain just stops working. Like, happens to me all the time. Who would have thought? But like there are things that we have to make space for. And the tower card is a big indicator of you making space for things. And actually the reason why I brought up that the tower card has not popped out in a while, that is a good indicator of like lessons learned. Bro, but not like completely, because I mean, yeah, there's gonna be lessons besides the tower moment. You don't have to go through a tower moment every time you need to learn a lesson, God. Thank God. But like the tower moment is really about like getting rid of old places, people, things, situations, and just making space for new things. And it's a process. You go through the tower moment and you have to go through like this process of like meditation, figuring out what you want, zenning out, figuring out what you enjoy, what makes you happy, what things make you triggered and just unhealthy, and just it makes you fall back into bad habits. You have to start analyzing these things, and going through those tower moments kind of makes you slow the F down, bro. And you have to force yourself to face these situations, face these questions, face these like topics, and reanalyze and reevaluate the things that are going on in your life and the things that you want in your life. And so you have to start cutting things out. You have to start eating better, you have to start thinking better, you have to start feeling better, and you have to start communicating better. So it's a process. And that's what we were learning these last few years. For a lot of us, those were some really heavy lessons, but they taught us to be better leaders, better entrepreneurs, better creators. Speaking of which, we got so many upgrades. I don't know if you've watched this channel like from the beginning, but you probably haven't because I'm a nobody. But my point is, this channel was done on like some basic phone from the very beginning, and I slowly upgraded, and now I got like some studio quality stuff. Not obviously not everything studio quality yet. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. But my point is everything is a process. You work things up. There's no just straight line up, and that's what the moon really wants to emphasize for you, because this is going to be a very abundant season, whether you trust those words or not. It's going to be an abundant season because the wolf moon, it's all about harvesting our manifestations, bringing in nourishment, bringing in belonging. So real, true, deep soul connections, intimate connections, not those half-assed people who just don't really bring any nourishment to our soul and usually end up suffocating us. We're not gonna have to deal with those types of things anymore. We're gonna learn to not even pay attention to that type of energy. Who would have thunk? Going through that over and over again, you'd finally get tired of it. I know. Who would have thunk? I sure didn't. So, the full moon has a lot to teach us about ourselves and trusting ourselves, because when we do, we can realize that, things do work out for a reason. It's not just a saying. Like, they really do. And, you have to learn how to love yourself before other people. And sometimes it takes a really toxic person in our life to realize what we're actually allowing into our soul. Which is weird because it's like, well, why do I have to deal with the worst person in all of reality to see everything else? Because there's so many things that you were totally okay with because you're like chill. You have a chill personality. And that just says a lot about you. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad about you, but that just means you need some more boundaries. That just means you need to start watching out for yourself because there are snakes in the water, bro. There are snakes out there. There are people who are shady, who are in your circle, who are like, and this isn't one of those type of like videos either. Don't start accusing everybody of being toxic and shady either. But like my point is you gotta watch out for yourself sometimes. And sometimes you just gotta prioritize yourself regardless of you having to look out for other people or not. Because sometimes there's just a lot we could be doing for other people but aren't capable of doing, but we wanna do because we love them. And sometimes we can't do everything. I know it's crazy. You can't do everything though. Sometimes you gotta let other people do things for you. Whew, that was a heavy lesson too. I know. I don't like letting people do things for me. It's like the worst feeling in the world because I want to do everything myself. I want to have everything figured out and I don't want to be a loser. I know. I have felt that way though, for real. It's the toxic Virgo side of me. I'm super critical. I try not to be. No, I've actually stopped a lot of those habits. But the point is we're human. We're not perfect, but we got to learn somehow, and that's the only way to learn. And this is tying everything together so you can start focusing on the things that matter, the things that bring nourishment into your soul and your life, and bring in abundance because it's all about accepting and bringing things in. So it's not even like, okay, so we went through the process of figuring out what we wanted, cutting out all those things that we were not necessarily needing, and all of the situationships that came up again, and then like the process of losing our old jobs, losing our old lifestyles, losing all of these old patterns, and then figuring out a new way to do things. Like, whoa, that was a lot. That was a lot that we learned. That was a lot that we went through in a short period of time. We're still going through it. However, this is like the peak moment when things start to really roll out way smoother than ever before because of all the lessons learned. I know. Breathe and meditate for this full moon. And don't forget to make your full moon water because I'm gonna be watching from the stars above. Not really, because that's creepy. But you should still make some full moon water and make some like tea with it. Make some tea, make some coffee. Dude, when I have full moon water in my coffee, I am a hyper bunny. I'm one of those energizer bunnies. Like, there are so many things that I get done. And it's a very abundant day for me. So I'm just saying, like, you should just think about making some full moon water because I got some videos on that too. So I'm just saying, it's not like it's clickbait or anything, but it's clickbait. You should watch my full moon video about full moon water. Okay, love you. Bye.